Hidden Light of Ancestral Wisdom, Episode 8: The Sacred Rituals. Esoteric Christian reflection from the blind oracle of Cosmic Christ Fellowship. When the elders pour and the heavens respond. The brainwashing of the sacred. There is a deception that has spread like smoke across the land. It tells Christians that sacred rituals such as pouring libation, sacrificing fowl, goat, or sheep, and invoking the stool of the bloodline are evil, demonic, and satanic. It teaches them to fear their own traditions and reject the sacred practices of their ancestors. But this is not truth, it is spiritual confusion. The scriptures themselves are full of rituals, full of sacrifices, full of libations, full of sacred offerings. These were not acts of darkness, they were acts of devotion, they were acts of covenant, they were acts of divine alignment. The Lord said, "Make an altar of earth for me and sacrifice on it your burnt offerings and fellowship offerings, your sheep and goats. Wherever I cause my name to be honored, I will come to you and bless you." Exodus 20:24. This is not fetish, this is divine instruction. The rituals of the prophets. Samuel, the prophet of God, offered sacrifices and poured libation before the Lord. 1 Samuel 7:9-10. David, the man after God's heart, poured out water before the Lord as a drink offering. 2 Samuel 23:16-17. Jacob, the father of tribes, set up a stone pillar and poured out a drink offering upon it. Genesis 35:14. Moses, the lawgiver, performed sacred rituals and offerings as commanded by God. Exodus 29:38-41. These were holy men, these were chosen vessels, these were spiritual giants, and they honored sacred rituals. They did not call them demonic, they did not reject them, they performed them with reverence. Even Yeshua HaMashiach, the Messiah, was not exempt. On the 8th day after his birth, he was taken to the temple for purification rituals according to the law of Moses, Luke 2:22-24. These rituals involved offerings 2 doves or 2 young pigeons. This was not superstition, it was sacred obedience. The stool is not a fetish. In African tradition, the stool is not just furniture. It is a throne, it is a symbol of ancestral authority. It is a spiritual gateway. When elders pour libation to the stool, they are not worshiping idols. They are invoking the covenant of the bloodline. They are calling upon the spirits of the ancestors to bless, protect, and guide. Paul said, "Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with a promise." Ephesians 6:2. To honor your elders is to honor your lineage. To honor your lineage is to honor the divine order. Jesus said, "Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them." Matthew 5:17. The rituals of the elders are echoes of the law. They are reflections of divine patterns. The power of sacred offerings. When the elders ask you to sacrifice a goat or pour wine, do not be afraid, do not call it evil, do not reject it. These are sacred acts, these are spiritual transactions, these are ancient codes of blessing. The book of Numbers says, "The drink offering shall be 1/3 of a hin of wine, and you shall prepare a burnt offering as a sweet aroma to the Lord." Numbers 15:5-7. Wine was poured, animals were sacrificed, blessings were released. David said, "I will not offer burnt offerings to the Lord my God that cost me nothing." 2 Samuel 24:24. Sacrifice is sacred, offering is holy, ritual is divine. The mystery of ancestral veneration. To venerate is not to worship, to honor is not to idolize. Ancestral veneration is the act of remembering, respecting, and invoking the wisdom and protection of those who came before. It is not forbidden, it is foundational. Hebrews says, "We are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses." Hebrews 12:1. These witnesses are the ancestors. They watch, they guide, they speak. Proverbs declares, "Do not move an ancient boundary stone set up by your ancestors." Proverbs 22:28. To reject ancestral rituals is to move the boundary. It is to break the covenant. It is to dishonor the foundation. The final revelation. You are not cursed for honoring your elders. You are not lost for pouring libation. You are not demonic for sacrificing a goat. You are walking in the ancient path. You are aligning with divine order. You are invoking the blessing of the bloodline. Let the seekers return. Let the rituals be restored. Let the libations be poured. Let the altars be rebuilt. The Spirit moves through sacrifice. The Lord speaks through ritual. The truth is not foreign, it is native. It is waiting to be remembered.